I was talking to a lady. I mentioned on the air that my father's from Greenbrier County, West Virginia. That's where he was born. And meet a lady. So I'm related to the Boones. I'm related to the Honeckers. Turns out I got kinfolk. I didn't even know it. See that? Up next, Dr. John David Lewis. He's visiting associate professor of philosophy, politics, and economics at Duke University. He's an Anthem Fellow for Objective Scholarship, contributing editor of the Objective Standard, and writer for Capitalism Magazine. His forthcoming book is Nothing Less Than Victory: Decisive Wars and the Lessons of History. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. John Lewis. Dr. John Lewis.
I'm on early and that is fine. How's everybody today?
Real good.
It's a great day for a Tea Party and high time for a Tea Party, is it not? This Tea Party movement has been energized in a way that I've never seen in my life. I was born in 1955 and never have I seen Americans energized in this way at what's happening to their country. And I'd like to take a moment and stop back and take a step back and think about the meaning of this. We're all here, I think, out of a genuine, deserved, and righteous sense of outrage at what's happening to our country. But outrage, of course, is not enough. It is not enough to be outraged. I appreciate the fact that this is being called today Liberty 101. Liberty 101 has a sense of education, learning involved in it, right? We need to understand our case. We need to understand our case so we can communicate it properly to others. Because, you know, the facts and reality are on our side. Facts and reality are on our side. What's happening in our country, the socialism we see arising amongst us, this healthcare plan you just heard about today, you know, the facts are not on that side. The ideology is on that side because of a certain force of the presentation. And the power may be on that side for the moment, but the facts of reality are not on that side. The facts is that that road leads to death and destruction. And you just look at any place in the country where this has been at any place in the world where this has been implemented and see the results. So what I want to do is think back to an earlier time. Think back to the original Tea Party in this country over 200 years ago. And let's think back to the meaning of that Tea Party. And I submit that this country, this nation was founded on a single basic idea, a single principle, an idea that formed the core and the bedrock of this country, an idea without which this country could not have been founded, cannot sustain itself, and will not sustain itself if it's lost. And that idea is the individual rights of man. These rights are the right to life, meaning the right to maintain and preserve and to live your own life for your own sake. The right to liberty, meaning the right to take the actions necessary, to make the choices that you deem right, and to live your life for your own sake, to act as you deem necessary, the only limitations being not to infringe on the rights of others. The right to the pursuit of your own happiness. And notice the precision in this language. There is no right to be happy. There is no right to the things that you might wish for yourself or that you might even need to be happy. There is only the right to act to pursue your happiness. That is the idea we need to understand. There is a right to the pursuit of happiness. And all of the infringements you see coming down on all of us from the government are infringements on our right to act, to pursue our own happiness by exercising our liberty. And central to those rights, without which they will not have any meaning, is the right to property, which is the right to produce, to gain, and to keep the material rewards from our actions, and to trade them with others should we come to agreement to do so. These are the individual rights of man. And the founders wrote in our founding documents that to preserve, protect, and defend these rights, governments are instituted among men. This defines the purpose of the government. The purpose of the government is to not to look out and find something that you or I or anyone else needs and to provide for it. I heard a Republican senator, a Republican unfortunately, speak recently where he said the basic issue today is that the government provides services, and to provide those services is what his job is. I'm very sorry that this Republican senator does not understand the basic purpose of government. The basic purpose of government is not to provide services. Because if the purpose of the government is to provide services, then the purpose of the government is to provide citizens who will serve the government in order to provide those services. Should we remember, I hope, that anywhere there is someone being served, there is someone serving. And I am not a servant of the government, and I hope you don't accept that position either. So to preserve, protect, and defend these rights, the rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, is the purpose of government and why governments are instituted among men. Now, this idea is so strong. This idea is so strong that you notice how this idea is what was necessary to correct many of the problems that the founders were not able to correct in their own lifetime. Notice that the founders could not fix everything, right? The ghastly problem of slavery, for example, existed after the American founding. It came to a head 2 generations later. What was necessary to correct this issue? Was it to overthrow the government of the United States and to overthrow this principle and find something better? No, there was nothing better. What was necessary was to understand this principle of rights, to expand it and to deepen it to all men. And that is how slavery was eliminated from the face of the earth. And if you look out at the world today, the places in the world where slavery still exists, and there are places where chattel slavery still exists, those are precisely the places where individual rights of man are not recognized. So to preserve, protect, understand, and defend the rights of man is what was necessary to eliminate slavery. Look further in American history. When the women's suffragettes marched and said, yes, they should have the right to vote too, they didn't demand an overthrow of the institutions of the American government and some principle better than the principle of rights. They demanded that the principle of rights apply to them too. They demanded that America stand up, face this principle, understand it, deepen it, and extend it to them. And even when Martin Luther King Jr. marched on Washington and demanded in an honorable way the correct sense of what the Civil